today also. We are here to discuss about the proficient Ghanaian artists among this era. There are so many of them, and today we'll be discussing about one of them in our discussion today. And with that, we'll be looking at the introduction, the artist's profile, the inspiration of this artist, the philosophy behind his works, the techniques employed in his works, the style that he uses whenever working. The works of some of the artists will be also looked at, and we'll be looking at some of the aesthetic description of some of these artworks, and later we conclude. To start, art is one of the many creativity of humanity existence that evolves and changes the world each and every day. Art has taught the world so many importance in the various activity of everyday moments, flashbacks, and memories. Art proficiency honors focuses on art production, portfolio development, research, writing, and critique. We more deeply employ and deploy concepts covered in art beginning and art intermediate. So, looking at all these proficient artists in Ghana, they have in common 12 most necessary skills that every fine artist should have. Realistic drawing, constructive drawing, ability to draw from life, drawing from memory and imagination, knowledge of materials used in art and the ways of which they are skillfully used, knowledge of the rules of perspective, knowledge of golden proportion, composition skills, knowledge of proportions of human head, face, and body, knowledge of the human anatomy, understanding and using of techniques in rendering tonal values, color theory, and techniques of working with color. Among all these proficient Ghanaian artists, the one who caught our attention today is Francis Essilfie Banton. Essilfie is a graduate of University of Education Winneba, who is now and currently pursuing a master's in philosophy of art education. He is currently teaching at Mpramsu Senior High School in Kou South Municipality in Ghana's Eastern Region. Essilfie is known as the Thrash Artist. When it comes to inspiration, Essilfie was worried about how trash was not managed properly in Ghana, and therefore decided to place a value on trash by becoming an artist who would turn trash into beautiful products. I quote, "I decided to be the artist who is turning trash into treasure to entertain, heal people in a form of therapy, and recycling to save the earth by bringing together all that have been destroyed by mankind to create a beautiful, healthy, and organic and safe earth." When it comes to his philosophy, Essilfie believes that the earth can be saved from pollution by a conscious contribution of every single person in the world, transforming the canvas into a creative depth and interactive artistic presentation guided by principles of design. I quote, "My art is basically about trash. What this means is that these unwanted items that have been sent out of the home are more important to me. Normally, I pick them from the street and then I try to tell the public that what you don't want is very important to someone else. When it comes to his techniques, he employs dry brush, impasto, and mixed media techniques in all the work that he has been doing. And for his style, Essilfie style of art is basically about materials and things being thrown away and has no more use to anyone anymore. The following are some of his painting themes worked on. Painted live on the sea using the dry brush and the impasto technique. Music and soul. Also, he employed the dry brush and impasto technique in this work. The standing committee. Sex with books. Gomesh. Beginning of life. COVID-19 meets at in Ghana. Two are better than one. Carnation. Ebony Rains. Number 1. BKC. Sport in UEW. The following are also some of the mixed media themes worked on by Francis Essilfie Banton. Fellow Ghanaians, a mixed media work, mainly of paper collage and other materials. Papa J, full of plastic waste and cans. Aquaba, another mixed media work. Lips. Freedom and Justice. Royala, full of bottle tops, cans, and plastics. B. Mali, a paper collage work with threads in it. Kwame Nkrumah, another mixed media work full of brushes, cans, bottle tops and bottles and plastic waste. Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, Paul Kagame, President of Rwanda. Among these works, You have selected a few to talk about them. The first is the mixed media work of Paul Gagami. Essilfie employs plastic waste material, arranging them in a manner of which the work speaks of the president of Rwanda in person, with the background being erased and aroused with series of blue plastic waste, with the mother bird having yellow plastic waste, and beneath it is navy green cans and materials, speaking of the flag of Rwanda. Collecting of trash from the environment to help solve some of the sanitation problems in Ghana. All these wastes are put together to make the artwork of Paul Kagame, the president of Rwanda, the man who was able to bring unity and harmony to where there was opposition and contrast. Paul needs to be celebrated. Well done. Africa is proud of you. The entry to the office of Sports College of University of Education, Winneba, at the right hand side of the building corner to the office is tagged with a multi-pictured mural painting measuring 108 inches by 60 inches. The medium used was acrylic on emulsion wall. The work was done in 2016, titled Sports in UEW, and the artist is Essilfie Banton. Scanning through the mural painting gives the viewer an optical perception of shapes, lines, texture, and colors. There is predominant use of diagonal lines throughout the work. This causes the eye to sweep into the mural work. To conclude, Essilfie collects various pieces of solid waste, including plastic wrappers, bottle tops, cans, toys, spoons, and among others, from the environment to create striking collage portraits of predominant personalities in Ghana and among African landscape. Up close, one perceives his finished piece as a confusing mass of just bola, but a second look from a distance reveals a rather dramatic piece of art. When asked why, he said, "This technique." Essilfie explained that his work mainly employs optical illusion. It gives you a different interpretation of life from a different angle, he said. When one looks from afar, he continues, "Our world is beautiful, but when you just get closer, you see the mess we have caused by the earth." This is the language being spoken by these artworks. So contextually, all is not lost. Let's collect the pollutants from the environment, put them together, and build and rebuild Mother Earth. We are the world. Thank you so much, class, for having this wonderful time with you. I believe you have learned a great lesson from Essilfie's way of work and how he gets to the environment to put together trash to cause and tell us that whatever you're producing in the environment is trying to destroy the environment. So we should bring back that rehabilitating the earth by keeping the environment clean. Thank you and have a nice day. Bye bye. I'm out break.